Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and today we have special guest Lisa G. She is the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss and creator of the original Skinny Jeans workout that sold over 100,000 units in Target and Walmart. Lisa has been featured in Life and Style Magazine, KTLA 5, CBS News, Thrive Global, and WebMD. She has 20 plus years transforming clients' lives, including Cheryl Teagues and Paul Zane Pilzer. Lisa is recognized as an Exert VIP lifestyle coach, creating customized wellness. All right, for everyone. That's awesome. Well, welcome to the show, Lisa.
Oh, Sheila, thanks so much for having me. I'm thrilled.
And one of the things I like to start off each show with is related to my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action. This last 12 months, let's just say, we have been hit with every single rock bottom imaginable and then some. So I like to start off with maybe if you have some tips or a story about a time in your business or personal life where you hit a tough spot and how you got back on track.
Well, thank you so much for that question. First of all, I feel like we're all in a corona coaster right now of emotional roller coaster of like our bodies really weren't just meant to be in constant stress for 10 months. You know, it's like fight or flight and fear. And I've had plenty of ups and downs as an entrepreneur. I just launched my podcast about going from stuck to unstoppable based on all my ups and downs before COVID even hit. But what I'd like to offer you guys too is some of the things that helped me just stay sane through this last 10 months. And for me, it's all comes back to wellness and having a mindfulness practice. Like I don't even let myself get out of the bed in the morning until I've listened to some kind of a guided meditation, whether it's like Tony Robbins priming or Joe Dispenza, space, some kind of a thing. We have to stay in the present moment. Mm-hmm. Because fear is what's taking us down. So you got to always be finding a way to come back to present, whether it's some kind of a breathing technique where you just inhale for 4 counts, hold your breath for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts. If you can bring it back to your heart and your breath and get out of the fear and what you can't control, then you're in a position of power. And then it's like, what can I do? Instead of what's happening to me. If you take it into more of your heart, you can be like, how can I serve others and show, how to eat better? I'd love to help people in your audience learn like some of my ninja secrets from the Boss Weight Loss book.
Yes, that's awesome. And that's so important and very difficult this year or this last 12 months, I should say 2021 is kind of like the continuation, the next part of 2020, it seems. What are you suggesting for people that are dealing with, okay, we got the COVID 20 pounds and now we got to lose that. What do you suggest people do? Because the gyms were closed, things shifted and people were home and things changed. They had comfort food on the couch. So what are your options or ideas for that?
Well, I'm here to help you guys with creating some social distance from the fridge, because we've all become just too close to that refrigerator. It used to be you leave the house, you go to appointments, meet with people, and now you just have to have a plan. And I think New Year's resolutions always fail by around this time. And I want to support you guys in just trying to take some baby steps. And I don't even want to share all the 6 steps for success from my book, because it all starts with one, right? Martin Luther King, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. First step that I would love to help you with is intermittent fasting is one of my hugest, biggest secrets that I love to talk about. And you're either in a fed state or a fasted state. And the changes in my client's body and my body since I've been doing intermittent fasting is just transformative. So you're either in a fed state or a fasted state. And I love intermittent fasting. Helps keep your energy levels even, helps keep you in a higher energy, like just sustained energy, if you combine that with a low carb, low sugar diet. And you're either eating or sleeping or not eating. So basically, I usually just skip breakfast. So I think breakfast being the most important meal of the day might not be true. So you're already sleeping for hopefully at least 8 of those hours. Just skip breakfast. It's kind of easy. And I'll have like coffee, water with lemon, first meal a day by noon, last meal a day by 8. And that's the 16-8 method of intermittent fasting that I have gotten such tremendous results with. My client Randy lost 40 pounds last year during the COVID. Another client of mine, 25. And it keeps me sane because I know you don't have to worry about nighttime eating because you're over with your window of times you can eat. There's no reason to sit there mindlessly numb out and eat stuff on the couch that you're just going to regret in the morning anyhow.
Yes. So are you combining this? You're doing like a low sugar, low fat diet, or is it so it's low fat also, or?
Well, what I teach is when you eat matters, what you eat matters, and having a system that works. It just takes all the guesswork out of it, because we all know that resolutions fail, and we all know that diets don't work long term. So you just need a simple system that works. And then my simple steps all starts with a mindfulness. You have to have the mindset to set yourself up for success. You got to get out of the mindset of this is hard, I can't do this, and tell yourself you can. Be like, I got this. And you have to have a why. Why? What do you want? Why do you want it? Why now? So you have to dig a little deeper, have a vision. What do you want to look like? Why do you want it? Why is it important? And if there's nothing like a pandemic to shine the light on the importance of health.
Yes.
Because being overweight is putting you at a high risk for COVID-19 complications, diabetes, heart disease. So right now is the time we should all say, I'm going to focus on my health, and it matters because I want to be around to enjoy all my success I've worked so hard all my life for. I help busy people that have spent their whole life building their business and their family, and they've neglected their own health. So I put together simple system. You do your morning mindset routine. In the morning before I get to eat anything, before I even get my coffee, I have to have water with lemon. Then I have coffee, but I can't have cream and sugar in it because that takes you out of your fasted state. So you can put a little bit of fat in it. So I use a bulletproof type coffee, which is like ghee, butter, coconut oil, MCT oil, cinnamon, stevia, things like that. Don't take you out of the fasted state in small amounts. And then what do you eat during the time you're eating? Now that's important too. If weight loss is a goal, if health is a goal. So low carb, low sugar is less inflammatory. It's less spikes in your blood sugar, so you can keep your energy levels even all day long. If you're eating foods like salad with protein, vegetables with protein, soups with vegetables, things like that, just bring it back to simple, basic, real food. It's only when our country started eating things that came in a box that we started getting bigger, because they put a lot of carbs and sugar in there to make those things taste good.
Yes. And how about alcohol?
Well, alcohol is awesome. I'm not going to say that we all haven't had our nights we really wanted alcohol during the Corona coaster, but it would just have to go during your eating window. So if I'm going to go out, I say less is more. Like during the week, probably less. If I'm going to go out on the weekend, I'll just push my window of when I eat back, because during your fed state, you can have your drinks after that. It's going to throw you off. For actually losing belly fat, you don't want to have too much alcohol, which can turn into sugar in your system and might be burned off first instead of fat. So if your goal is to burn fat, you got to just think about what you're drinking. Like, white wine isn't really your friend. It's kind of addicting. I would say, if someone wanted to offer me a drink right now, tequila, thank you.
So the harder liquors are better, everyone.
What's that?
The harder liquors are better.
Well, it's less sugary if you don't mix it with a lot of sugar. Like if you just take a harder white liquor, like your vodka or your tequila, and then you just add a little club soda, a little lemon or lime, that's not going to spike your blood sugar levels as much as wine. Mm-hmm. I love wine. I just don't want to be dehumanizing the whole thing, because we've all been through so much, but overdoing the things that are bad for you are not going to make your health better. So right now we got to bring the focus back to your health, and nothing good ever came without sacrifice. So you do have to sacrifice if you want to be healthy.
Yes. And so now you were the creator of the Skinny Jeans workout. So how does workout fit into that? And I'd love to hear about the Skinny Jeans workout.
Oh, I'd love to send you a copy. It was years ago, but I happen to still have a bunch of copies.
Okay.
It was shorter workouts for busy people. So it's like a 5-minute, a 15-minute, 30 and 45-minute, and you just got to go at your own pace. I feel that less is more when it comes to exercising, food, alcohol. Like, you just want to have a lifestyle that you can maintain. So when you go for this black and white thinking of all or nothing, then you're going to feel disappointed. Why don't you just try to be 10% healthier every week? Why don't you just try to shift one habit? So what if you just took 1 week and you just went for the intermittent fasting and tried to nail that 16-8, filling up on water in between? Then you took another week, and what if you tried to exercise for 20 minutes every other day, not beating yourself up if you missed a day? Mm-hmm. And then what if you took the third week and tried to get the processed foods out of your diet and just try to eat more vegetables and food just the way it's found in nature? Like, when I want to feel really lean for any reason, fish and vegetables is what gets me lean. It's simple. It's protein and it's vegetables. It's really simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated, and the food doesn't have to taste bad at all.
And then I'm wondering, for families listening and parents listening, what do you suggest for incorporating healthier meals, or maybe more of a intermittent fast window for your family now that we have kids at home? Maybe our kids are homeschooling at home and there's snacking, or what recommendations do you have so that children are now getting diabetes faster than adults because of all the boxed foods?
And they're suicidal too. I feel terrible for children right now. It's like, for adults, the unknown has been hard for us. For children, it's been really hard for them too. So as far as your question goes, I love your question, because kids do what you do, not what you say. Right. So if you come home one day and say, I want us to be a healthier family so that we can be there and enjoy each other, and we're having vegetables today, and you only put that on the table, there's no other choice. They can't be like, I've seen people, well, this one can't eat that, another one can't eat that, so we're having 5 different meals. No, you just put the food on the table. This is what we're eating. Eventually, if they're hungry, they'll eat it.
Right. And it's really interesting for me. I know that I have celiac and I have PCOS. And so I have to eat really clean. I can't drink alcohol at all, hardly, because the sugar. And sugars, it's sort of like insulin resistance. It's very interesting. And so my daughter moved in with me with the pandemic and the dorms closing. And so now she's home, and she never said anything. She's an adult, she's in college. She's eating the food, the chicken and the salads and all these healthy things. And and she doesn't have my situation, so she's great already. But one day I do the delivery. So I had the Amazon people deliver groceries. And one day I said, I have a surprise for you. And it was a mistake. I had bought, I don't know, some kind of healthy surprise, but they delivered a bag of junk food. Like, I don't know, sugar soda and sugar cereal, and because we don't do cereal, I mean, like, just all kinds of sugar stuff. And she was so happy
Oh,
because she was like, "Oh, wow, I haven't had this kind of food in so long." And I said, "Oh, honey, that was a complete mistake." And I said, "I think you manifested it. You wanted it so bad."
that's so cute. Well, all autoimmune disease, you need to obviously fight autoimmune disease with a clean diet. And to not get an autoimmune disease, the other thing is to have a clean diet. So you're doing her a huge favor.
Yes.
So she doesn't have any health problems as she ages, because there's so many additives in our soil
Mm-hmm.
that weren't there many years ago, that gluten is just not good for any humans, in my opinion.
Right.
And in the opinion of a lot of doctors that I've interviewed over my career. I've done over hundreds interviews. And I believe just if you can skim around the surface of the store and just have the things that are real, natural, whole foods, you're just going to be such a better influence on the other people in your life, because you want them to be healthy. You want them to be around. You want to be around for them. And you want to be a positive influence on them. And if she's staying there with you, or if you have family in the house, just make it fun. Have a little dance party for the exercise. You could put on some kind of a YouTube workout, and I'll try to not laugh while you're doing a Zumba class. It would be impossible. Just make it fun. Just
Yes.
add in some fun family healthy activities that the family can do together, so you can goof around instead of watching Netflix and eating popcorn, which is always fun. You could all be doing yoga workout. I started a yoga workout with my family during this pandemic, and we do Zoom workout on Saturday mornings. And it's just a nice way to bond with your family over non-food things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I know for us, we're doing a challenge with a group of friends. And so we've got that going on, and my daughter joined in. So she's got her gallon of water she's drinking a day, and she's perfect. She's perfect, perfect, perfect. Doesn't need to even think about it at all. But it's still a lifestyle. Like when you're young, you could just do whatever you want. She says she's never eaten so healthy in her entire life. Because imagine when she was at the dorm, she's studying psychology, so she's in for a while, and she's almost done with her studies. But when you're in the college dorm, there's not healthy food available as much, and so she's enjoying she's healthier. We walk, and we literally intentionally even moved. This is before the pandemic. We moved our home to a place that's like where there's lots of grass and places to take walks near a lake, and a community sports club, country club place. And so it was an intentional move for our family, because it really was like, I want to live in a place where I can go paddleboarding and go on the boat and do fun things, instead of just being stuck at home or in a big city where there's not a lot of fun to do. And then COVID hit. Like, we barely unpacked and COVID hit. And so it is your environment, no matter where you live. I think the environment makes a big difference, and how you set up your day. Now, for me, you mentioned Tony Robbins and doing like your morning routine. I know for me, I learned about meditation and actually went to India with the Tony Robbins group. And there I am with the monks. And I literally had a note from the doctor giving me special permission to get up every hour, because I was like, I cannot, please. Somebody had rear-ended me on the freeway in it was near Santa Monica.
Oh my gosh, this happens. It happens all the time. Everyone's like on their phone.
Yeah. And he was on his phone, nice young guy. And I was like, don't, I'm not going to do anything. But I did have to go check it out. They said, you need to go check it out. So I got a doctor's note, but really I was stiff. But I got the note because mentally I couldn't sit there. And that was many years ago. And now I do the meditation every morning. And before I go to bed, I do another similar to what you do. And it has made a big difference, especially during this crazy time.
It's got me through some really hard times, definitely. Like the mindfulness, I made that resolution last year and I kept it for the whole year. You know, like I said, there's days where I, like sometimes I have to bounce out early because I have people working for me overseas and I might have to respond to an email. But the general rule is not looking at my phone or my email and social media until I've got my mind set up for success. And I know for people like you and I, you know, the type A's, it's hard to sit still and hard to be in the present moment, but it's necessary to set yourself up for success on a daily basis to hit the goals of the things that you said mattered for you, which is why I mentioned the Tony Robbins or the Joe Dispenza or the guided meditations, because it's impossible to sit there and not have thoughts. Like I do better with a guided meditation, and I know silence is golden and key and stuff, but I'm too hyper for that. I do better at guided meditations, and even like the Tony Robbins one, because it's like kind of physical.
Priming. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm a very physical person, so it helps me to move that energy around and channel it into what are my top 3 things that I want to focus on today, so I don't get all ADD all over the place and the whole day's gone by and I've got nothing done. So mindfulness, hydration, intermittent fasting, eating whole, real foods. Healthy fat is good for you, like wild-caught salmon, avocado, coconut or olive oil, MCT oil. Just eating just regular low-carb veggies like spinach, cauliflower, broccoli. Just bring it back to nature and eating healthy, getting out in nature to get the vitamin D, which can help boost your immune system and your endorphins. If you're feeling down, like just breathe. Practice slowing down your breathing, practice the mindfulness, practice the exercise, and we all have a hopeful future. It might seem like we don't know when. It just can't be here forever. So just hang in there. Find somebody to talk to if you're really down. It's always helpful to reach for help. It's nice just to know that you have that phone a friend option or professional help. You know, I coach people all the time where we are all been so isolated, and it's just nice to have someone to talk to that holds you to the highest level of accountability to hit your goals of the things that you said matter and why do they matter? What is your vision for your future? And we all have to have a future vision, and we all have to stay present, and we all have to let go of all of that crappy stuff that happened to us, because we all have it.
Yes. Yes. And all the magic moments, even this year, for my family and I, December 2019, we lost my youngest son, and he had a heart condition that since 5th grade. So we really had extra time. We almost lost him in 5th grade. He lived to be 22.
I'm so sorry.
And it was really hard on our family. And we thought back in February, we thought, okay, we're starting to get back on track and, you know, get back into things. And then COVID hit, and my daughter was like, wow, if ever we needed this universal pause, because we are all type A in our family, it was this year. And we have learned to play again and talk and have now we have an adult parent to adult child relationship. And I am enjoying this bonus time with my adult kids that have to be home from the university. And it's just, we're having a good time making the best out of this is the situation we're in right now. And instead of just focusing on whatever the news or all that junk that's going to happen, you know, just enjoying what we can and having fun with each day. And it's shifted everything.
I'm so happy that you had this time with your family, and I'm so happy that you brought up finding the good, because all terrible things have a other side.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like bad things are going to happen that we can't control, but it's how you deal with it that matters. And how you're dealing with this is so admirable, that you're valuing your time with your family. you're lucky that you had just barely moved into a place where you can paddleboard and walk outside and be in nature, not be stuck in a city during a pandemic. And your daughter's getting that positive influence of you only giving her healthy food because she's stuck with you.
Yes. And we're having a blast. I know she's used to all the healthy food, so it's nice. It really is. It is a nice time, and there's a gift in everything. And that's, the purpose of this show is to help people, give them ideas to get back on track during any type of tough situation that happens. I wrote my book the year prior, before all this showed up. So it showed up right on time. And one of the other things I do share about the 211, and that's something in every state and province in Canada. If you need extra resources and you're listening in, and maybe you need food on your table, or you need help with rental assistance or mortgage assistance, or maybe mental health, alcoholism, some kind of addiction, maybe you're dealing with abuse, whatever there is. If you're a veteran or a senior, you need help placing your senior, go to 211. There's a ton of free resources that my intention was, how can I get as many resources to people as possible? And a guest showed up on my show and told me about 211. And then I learned more about it and contacted them. And it is incredible that nobody knows about this
I
211.
never heard about that. And what a wonderful resource. And what a year, if there ever was a year when there's so many of us that are hungry and not working. And it's like the mental health problem, at least 40% of us are having mental health problems now, not even just children, but it's all of this unknown. So wonderful that you want to share your stories of your bootstraps and your bra straps and your 211, and how people can get help and don't feel like you're all alone. We're all going through this, and you just need to reach out for help.
Yes, asking for help when you need it is okay. It's more than okay, because it's going to get you and your family back on track even faster. And for those that are looking to get help and maybe join one of your programs, how would that work? What does that look like to join your coaching program, or how does that work?
Well, you and I met on LinkedIn, which I love. Lisa Goldenthal on LinkedIn, or my company is called Lisa G Fitness. So I'm also Lisa G Fitness on Facebook, Lisa G Fit on Instagram. And I just launched my whole CEO with Lisa G podcast. And it's basically about going from stuck to unstoppable. It's on iTunes. So Lisa G at lisagfit.com. If you guys need help with losing the weight, I have a 90-day system. I can get you there. And diets don't work. So sometimes you just need somebody holding you to that highest level of accountability to do those steps. You talk to me every week. I hold you accountable. I pick you back up when you fall down, because it's not easy. You just need a system, and you need somebody that's going to hold you accountable to do the things that you need to do to lose the weight, so that you won't be a high risk for COVID-19 complications, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disease, and you just be healthier and happier and there for your family. Like, whatever your why is and whatever your vision is, I can help you get there. And it's not as hard as you think. You just need a simple system and a plan and somebody to explain it to you.
If you are just tuning in, this is NBC's Sheila Mack Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Smart Labels. Hey listeners, let me tell you about a company you may not have heard of, Smart Labels. The company is making inventory management simple and very affordable for small business owners. Here's how it works. You buy the Smart Labels QR code stickers on Amazon. When the stickers arrive, just slap one on a container or shelf, download the Smart Labels app on your mobile device, scan the code, and the app creates a digital container for you. Write down all the information about the items you are cataloging and take a picture. You'll have all your inventory easily searchable in the palm of your hand. Sticker packs cost $16 and the subscription is only $30 per year. Get your smart label stickers on Amazon today. And so that's something that's very important in my life. Now, one of the things that Christine and I talked about a lot was we also discussed our children a little bit, and even our adult children, and how it's not what we say or tell them to do or give them the rules. It's how we live. It's who we're being and how we model our lives that's going to really affect our children or grown children. It's actually, if you are a business owner, leader, or even running a team, even if you just go to a work site, how you show up affects the energy, affects everybody else, and it just changes everything. So now I can go into a real estate explanation a little bit more on that. So there is something that I wanted to share about today in real estate. And how does that apply to real estate? Well, it applies in many ways. So there's many different communities that have special, like, city and government funding, and they literally like have funds to help businesses to remodel. And I can recall buying a property, a big storefront property in Monrovia on Myrtle. And it was a beautiful place, but it needed work. And the reason I purchased there was because there was funding to remodel that building. And so I did most of the remodeling work myself. I had a blast. Of course, I hired like people to help me do the construction part, but but all that was free. And so you may, if you're looking into invest, if you're along that far in your journey in properties, investing in properties for profits, then that is something that you can look into in the different communities. And it could be that one small town, I mean, it's a beautiful little small town in Southern California in the foothills. It's very close to Pasadena, and then Monrovia is not far away from there. And so and then there was Sierra Madre was another community I had purchased a place in. And Sierra Madre is another beautiful place that sometimes they have what they call like redevelopment funds, and sometimes they give it different names. And so you do have to check with your city. So if you are looking to purchase, whether it's for your own business or it's for getting into diversifying into some commercial units, then that is something to definitely consider. And you want to look at zoning. You want to see, is this commercial building zoned for only warehouse, or is it zoned for other use? And that can make a big difference also. So an example is I had another property that was zoned warehouse, and everything for maybe 10 blocks was warehouse. And all of a sudden, they changed the zoning, and the zoning went up. So now you could rent to different people. And so per square foot, the amount you can charge per square foot went up like 5 times compared to the warehouse. So it was really a great thing. So to be aware of the zoning. And now in California, they're having some special zoning and code changes where you can add, like on a residential property, many times they're now allowing to add like a little back house or AUD, I think they call it. So depending where you are, there's certain communities where they're offering people the chance to be able to add a unit, and that can be quite affordable. That's something, of course, you have to look into the zoning first. You have to get your approvals and go to the city. and work with somebody that can help you with that. That is a wise thing. And, get different quotes. Don't go with the first person. Get like 4 or 5 quotes. Make sure you have everything in writing. You get everything permitted first and you do the steps accordingly. You'll have to get things signed off. But then at the end of the day, you'll have a great place for, maybe you have grown kids that you want to come home, or you want to rent that unit out. And that is something that will bring you positive cash flow probably within a year or two, if not sooner, depending on what you end up being able to place in your yard. So there's just some fun things to look into for redevelopment and zoning that is going to make a difference. And so when you're working with a real estate agent, you want to work with an agent that knows how to find this information and figure out what the area is. It could be that you buy 3 blocks away and you miss out on all this money or opportunity to expand your property. And even if you don't have that time or money to expand now, later on you may go to sell that property, and because it has that zoning, you're going to get more per square foot, and it's just going to give you a better opportunity in the long haul. So that is the importance of working with somebody that knows what they're doing in that realm. Now, the last thing I want to talk about real quickly today is, if you are doing the vacation rental, then there's many different ways to do it. And I talked about this on the last show. So if you have not seen that episode, go back and watch it. You can find it for last week. So just look on my YouTube channel and you'll see the show that I talked about being a vacation rental superhost. And and I paid $35,000 for this house. I ended up, it was a prefab. I had $1,000 land lease, and I put in a little bit of like $4,500 for every little adjustment I made it beautiful. I separated it into 3 units, and I ended up cash flowing $6,000 to $8,000 a month with very little effort, and until the zoning changed. And at that point, I sold my $35,000 investment house that had cash flowed all this time. It was, like 3 years or so. Then I sold it, made $295,000, and I used a special formula. It's a tax code 1031 exchange. And with that, I was able to avoid capital gains and exchange into a property that would cash flow and allow me to continue doing my Airbnb. So one of the secrets with the Airbnb, if that's something that sparks your interest, you definitely have to look into the zoning and the laws in your city. There's certain cities that absolutely do not allow any vacation rentals, and others do. So you want to look into the law beforehand, and the law can change. So you're never going to make I would not make $6,000 to $8,000 a month renting that prefabricated house out. I would make maybe $1,800, $1,900 back then. This was 2015 when I purchased the property. So yes, it is still something that can happen. Even today, you can get deals. Might be a little bit more, but there's still deals. I can tell you that if you're looking. And there's other ways to do your Airbnb or your vacation rental. There's other companies that do that as well. And so some people do like an arbitrage. And so what they do is, there's a special lease that you can do, and you negotiate with different people that are renting out a unit. And in that lease, and that's where you need a real estate agent to help you create a lease like that and make that offer, so that the landlord's going to be super happy, because you're going to be paying above or, a good rate for the rent, and you're going to keep it clean. You're going to manage it, and you will legally be able to rent out a unit that you end up making cash flow from and everybody's happy. And that's all written in the lease and how that's worded. So that's kind of specific and special, but that's something that is possible if you don't want to own the property or be buying it. I always like to buy things because then you're building equity and you're able to do that exchange later on, which you definitely need help with that if you're new to that. So there's a special accommodator account that has to be set up before you sell. You have to ID 3 properties and then you have to close within 180 days. So it's really important that you have a real estate agent that is knowledgeable in that. And I am working with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. So I have an incredible team. I have a team of agents I work with across the United States that I also refer people to that specialize in that if that's where you're at in your buying process. So just call over and to Keller Beverly Hills and ask for Sheila Mack, and I'll be happy to help you that way. So there's that. And now there's another secret. So I hope you're taking notes. Get out your pens and paper. If you don't already have that, take some notes or take some mental notes if you're driving, because there is another secret. And that other secret is you're going to get more money from corporate rentals than you are from the high turnover. And you're going to have a different person in your vacation rental if that's the route you choose to go, and especially if you are renting out a room in your home. That's like really personal. If you can't separate the entrance and exit and you have to kind of share, you don't want to have people coming and going unless you're good with that. But for many people, it would be more comfortable to do a corporate rental. So I did a lot of corporate rentals with my vacation rental homes and still do. And so the rental home process that's corporate is people that are traveling for business. Many times their company will pay. So an example was a university in California was paying for a band to stay for 3 months at my little vacation rental in the canyon. And this band actually ended up playing the opening for one of the presidential candidates. So Barry Sanders. and so I loved it. I was actually staying in one of the units. I was in between travels. And so every night I had a band. They were paying me top, like they literally they paid the whole thing up front. And because I allowed them to record, they actually recorded for another album while they were there, and they did their practice for this very special performance. And I would sit out on the yoga deck and this band would literally be playing music for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're paying me and they're doing a private band performance. And so like the neighbors would come over and they were kind of far away. So nobody was bothered, but I'd invite people and I'd invite my kids and friends and we'd just listen to the band. And it was like a private party every night for 3 months. And I loved the people. They were really a good group. The professors came over because they were studying music. And so they had chosen this band and they were in this program. So it was a whole process and it was very professional, because you could picture band in different ways, but this was a very professional group. And that worked for my unit because I was like in the canyon in the middle of nowhere. And it was awesome. Now, other times I've had nurses, there's travel nurses. There's an entire group of nurses that travel and they get paid like a stipend for their travel expenses. That's like, $3,000 a month or something in that range. And I would just get paid and I would know that nurse would be there for months and it could be half a year. And we'd have to do a little bit different with the way we structured everything, but they loved it. And I loved it because I didn't have to have the turnover. There was no parties going on. There was no nobody was trashing my units. They were keeping it clean because this was like their home away from home. So they were taking care of things, and I kept it beautiful, of course, but they really did a lot of the maintenance themselves. As far as the upkeep, it was very low. It wasn't like I had to have the cleaning people there all the time. I still did a cleaning, once a week, and I'd get permission. And some of them didn't even want that. They like really wanted their privacy, and that was great. So the corporate is the way to go if you're going on the air on the I shouldn't say that name. I should say vacation rental route, whichever company you work with. And so those are my tips for today. And I hope you tune in next time because we will be talking about some more great information to help you get started on your process of turning your properties into profit. And that's going from, I'm going to go through the steps of how to pay off your debt and get your first home, all the way through how to buy luxury homes or vacation homes, or structure the way you live in a way where you could live in two states and benefit from both and have a blast, and actually be able to keep your current house and have a second house. So there's many ways to get into that realm. And so tune in next time. And if you would like to work with me or join the mastermind, I am building a new website, but the older one is working. So go to SheilaMac.com to connect. Or also, if you are currently looking for an agent, like I said, I do have an incredible team. And so give a call over to Keller Williams Beverly Hills and ask for Sheila Mack, and I will get back to you within the day. All right. And again, thank you for tuning in. This is Sheila Mack Show here on NBC's KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. See you next time. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and this portion of the show is all about real estate strategies for your dream lifestyle. So in this portion, I'm going to help you to discover the benefits of buying either a vacation home or a second main home. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and I am a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. Today, we'll explore the incredible opportunities and advantages of owning a second property, especially if you're in California. We'll also share inspiring success stories from happy families who have turned their dreams into reality. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of vacation homes and or second homes. Now, picture this. You're living in the bustling city of beautiful Beverly Hills, California, enjoying the excitement and luxury that it offers. But you also yearn for a peaceful retreat, a place where you can escape from the fast-paced city life. That's exactly what Paul and Kathy felt like. My clients, yes, they made the decision to sell their home in Beverly Hills and move to the beautiful suburb of Summerlin, Nevada. Let's hear about their story. So Paul and Kathy were seeking a change, a shift towards a more relaxed and serene lifestyle. They wanted to be closer to nature and enjoy the benefits of a golf resort community. By selling their Beverly Hills property, they were actually able to unlock a world of opportunities. The first thing I helped them do is, of course, sell their home, and they negotiated to purchase a beautiful rental property also in the Los Angeles Beverly Hills area. So they kept one of the 4 units they purchased as their vacant home, and that is where they stay, and also where their family and friends can come and visit and stay. This allowed them to maintain a connection to their roots while embarking on a new adventure. But that's not all. You see, the pricing of homes is really affordable over in these beautiful communities. Lake Las Vegas, Summerlin, Las Vegas, Nevada is incredible. It is just one flight away. We have a beautiful private, semi-private JSX Air, who I love, and no, they're not paying for that plug, but I love them. It's almost like a chartered flight, and it's very affordable. You can be back in California at your job or visiting with family and friends. It's a 30-minute or so flight, and literally you just have to show up 20 minutes in advance. So it's pretty easy to do, and it's faster than a commute to the valley or to the beach. Now, one of the fantastic benefits for Paul and Kathy of living in Nevada is that as long as you reside in Nevada for 6 months and 2 days, you can be considered a resident. This residency status allowed them to save thousands of dollars in state tax payments while fueling their dream vacation lifestyle. Paul and Kathy's story is one example of how owning a vacation home or a second home or a home that becomes your main residence can enhance your life in numerous ways. It's about finding a home that serves you and complements your desired lifestyle rather than the other way around. When you have a place to retreat to, a place where you can relax and recharge, it brings a whole new level of fulfillment. That's right. So Kathy and Paul are able to just hop on one of the JSX flights, go back and forth, and they stay in their beautiful one of their units. They got 4 units, condos that were really nice, and rented the others out. And so they're just doing really well. They increased their cash flow. They actually were able to pay their home off in the Summerlin area, and they also have the cash flow from the other tenants paying for their mortgage on that passive income investment that they have, where they have their second little home, and so they are doing real well. Basically, the tenants are paying off their mortgage. They're paying that down quickly, because then all that income will become just passive rental income, while providing them with the option of living in both areas throughout the year and enjoying the seasons and the fun that Las Vegas has, as well as the beauty of Beverly Hills in California. Now, they are just one example of how owning this vacation home, second home, can enhance your life in numerous ways. It's about finding a home that serves you and complements your desired lifestyle, rather than the other way around. Okay, so when you have a place to retreat, a place where you can relax and recharge, it brings a whole new level of fulfillment. So one of the questions I always ask my clients is this simple question. Think about this. Is your house serving you, or are you at the point where you're serving your house? And how can we flip that around? So I am a lifestyle coach, consultant, and also a licensed real estate agent. I also teach courses online directly to real estate agents regarding 1031 exchanges, commercial investing, and actually help other agents to create a lifestyle that they desire with real estate property investments. So there's many different ways to work with me. I actually have an incredible team, and so I do lots of referral work, and I also handhold you through the process to make sure that you are getting your needs met. So if you'd like to contact me, I'd love to set up a strategy session with you. So you might be wondering how you can get started on your own journey towards owning a vacation home or a second home. Now, just to give you an example, home prices are in the mid to high 300,000s, of course on up to $1 million plus, depending on what you like. And some of those prices, even on the lower range, are in beautiful gated resort style communities with all the amenities. So it's a pretty nice way to make a change and enjoy both worlds. Now, as a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Beverly Hills, I do specialize in real estate strategies that help you live the life you've always wanted. Whether you're looking for a serene beachfront property, a cozy cabin in the mountains, or a luxurious golf resort home, I can guide you through the process and help you find the perfect fit for your dreams. If you're ready to take the next step, I encourage you to join our mastermind today. Our community of like-minded individuals shares valuable insights, experiences, and resources to support you and your goals and your real estate journey. Building wealth, creating wealth for you that's generational wealth. You can also visit my website at sheilamac.com, SHEILAMAC.com, and fill out a contact form to learn how I can assist you in turning your dreams into reality. Or if you'd like to really get started, schedule a consult with me today. Thank you again for tuning into this section of the show on real estate strategies for your dream lifestyle. I hope you found it inspiration in Paul and Kathy's story and are excited about the possibilities that owning a vacation home or a second home or a new first main home can bring to your life and your pocketbook. Remember, it's all about finding a home that serves you and helps people you live with and helps you to design the life you've always wanted. Until next time, this is Sheila Mac signing off. And again, you can reach me also direct. Call the Keller Williams office at 310-432-6400 and ask for Sheila Mac. My team and I will coordinate a strategy session with you to get started on creating the life of your dreams. Tune in again right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.